Morning. Happy to see all of you guys today. We're going Old Testament today, which is fun. We're starting off a new sermon series, so not only did Aaron leave me with the task of starting off our new series, Go, which is going to be about all the times in the Bible that Jesus tells people to go, and then what that means for us today and what that looks like today. But he left me with the only text in the Old Testament. And not only that, but the Tower of Babel. So you can tell him thank you when you see him for me. Many of you know this is my first sermon here with you guys at Grandview, and I have to say it feels a little risky. Like, I know most of you, and some of you are good people, but I don't know, how you're going to react. It just feels a little risky. And as I started preparing this week, I thought, it's a risk, but it's not like jumping out of an airplane risky. And you're giving me the same blank stares that everyone else gave me and all the other services and thinking, Mickensie, why would you make such a weird connection? And it's not that weird for me because my dad, who's here today, is a skydiver. Now, I want to be sure that I picked the correct term there because he's not a person who skydived one time strapped to some professional's back. My dad is a over 100 jumps, packed his own parachute, licensed skydiver, okay? So he wanted me to be clear on the terminology there, it's important. So we bought him this jump for his 50th birthday, and we thought it would be a one-time thing, one-off. We didn't factor in that my dad has been a lifelong adrenaline person. So he was fast cars, fast motorcycles, and the next kind of logical step is hurling oneself out of an airplane 10,000 feet in the air with a pack of nylon strapped to your back. It just makes sense. So he started doing this, and if that wasn't enough, he took a next step. Because what's the next step from throwing yourself 10,000 feet off the ground? It's throwing yourself 100 feet off the ground, which is called base jumping, which is where you jump off a stationary object that is, about 4 seconds from the ground. So my dad, this is a picture of him jumping off of the New River Bridge in West Virginia, where I'm from. It is exactly 4 seconds from when you jump to when you hit the water, so not a lot of room of error there. It was not my mom's favorite season of life. So when my dad was skydiving, the question he always got was, why would you throw yourself out of a perfectly good airplane or off a perfectly good bridge? And I think that that's where a lot of us wind up in that zone feeling about the Tower of Babel. I mean, I just always thought they were kind of idiots. Like, you're building this tower up into the heavens. Like, I know it's up there and it's just sky, folks. Like, you're going nowhere fast. I think we all feel that way about it. It feels so far removed from us. I think there's more going on in this story. This narrative is part of a larger narrative in Genesis, and this part of it is nestled directly after kind of one of the big heavy hitters of Genesis, the flood. So these people have just, this whole desolation has occurred, right? And they are gathered together for survival, for strength in numbers, for safety. And they say, let us build a city with a tall tower with its top in the heavens. Now, there are kind of two schools of thought about what this tower actually was. Now, on one hand, some scholars say that it was just a really tall tower. They were just building this really, really tall tower into the heavens to say, look, not even the gods can stop us. Do you see how strong we are? We made these bricks, this new technology, we did this thing, and we built it so tall, it reaches the heavens. Now, some scholars, on the other hand, say it's what's called a ziggurat, which is a very fun word to say. But actually just means a stairway to heaven. It's essentially just a big staircase that goes up into the sky. And I think when I heard that, what I thought was, and I think what most of us think about this passage, is that they were attempting to get to heaven. Like they were building this so they could walk all the way up into the heavens and live with the gods. That's not exactly how the ancients thought of their relationship with the gods. So you got to know that what it was a two-way street. Okay, we burn sacrifices for you, we give you burnt offerings, you feed on those, and in return what you give to us is safety, security, good crops, good rain, safety for our kids, whatever, right? So it was very much a mutually beneficial relationship and a two-way street. So whatever is the actual reason that they built God came down to see Babel. And it didn't seem like he really needed to take the stairs. God shows up. God sees what they're doing. God scatters them, messes with their language, and that's what we're kind of used to focusing on in the story. It's pretty flashy. I think there's something else going on. I think there's something undergirding this. I think there's something underneath that is motivating this kind of behavior. You know, sometimes I do things just to do them. Like if there's a bag of chips open on the couch, I will eat them. You know, like I don't need a reason to do that. They're right there. But I think most of the time in our human experience, there is some motivating factors. There's something causing us to act and keep acting in the ways that we do. So what motivated these ancients? Was it just making their name great? Was it just like they were really full of themselves? I don't really think so. I think there's something really deeply human at play here. What is their reason for making this tall tower? Did you notice? They said, otherwise we will be scattered. Now that presents a different lens to examine this tale with, right? It's no longer this silly tale of people building this really tall tower for no apparent reason. This story becomes about risk aversion tactics. Ooh, that's heavy, right? These people wanted to stay put. They wanted to stay safe. They wanted to stay in the same place, and they wanted things to stay exactly the same. They wanted to keep with what they knew rather than risk something they didn't. Now that sounds a little bit more like our lives, doesn't it? Aren't there ways in which we become comfortable with our routine and our schedule, and we do things the way we've always done them because it gives us the illusion of that thing that we all want? Safety. Control. It's not a bad thing to be desperate for, right? In fact, I think it is the human thing. I think it's the thing we all want deep in our heart of hearts and in our bones is to be safe, to be comfortable, to be secure. The story of Babel is, after all, a human story, even though it feels so far removed from us. It is a story about humans doing things humans always do and building ourselves a tall tower to keep everything in its place. I was talking to a friend recently, and we began to think of this like risk and comfort as like a Venn diagram. Now you have to track with me here. Remember when you were in 3rd grade, and you have those 2 circles, right? And they interlock, and in the middle, there's commonality, right? They're the things that are the same. Well, I think we tend to think of risk and comfort as 2 circles on a Venn diagram that doesn't touch at all. Because right, like over here we have our comfort circle, and this is like your favorite meal at the restaurant you always go to, and so you order the same thing, and why would I even try anything else? Because I know that this is what I like. Do you like a favorite pair of pants? It's the route you always take home from school to work or work to wherever, right? Like it's the things we do all the time, and we do them the same way we've always done them, because that's the way we've always done them. It's our comfort zone, right? We live here, right? And on this side, we have risk. And that's where all the scary unknown things go. That's where all of the what ifs and the I don't knows and what would that cost me? How would I even do that? This becomes kind of where we think of risk as this like diverging greatly from the path we had thought we would take. It's like risking it all, doing all of these crazy things, right? We don't know if we'll make it. We don't know if we'll succeed. Feels really, really risky. And that's the kind of risk I took when I graduated King. When I graduated King, I moved to New Jersey, and I worked at a nonprofit there in Camden, New Jersey, in South Jersey, and I was like very sure this is what God wanted me to do. But I also know myself, and something you need to know about me was that I grew up in like pretty rural West Virginia. So if we're thinking about 2 Venn diagram circles that don't touch at all, I think Camden, New Jersey, and Winfield, West Virginia are about as far apart as you can get. So I was scared. I mean, what if I failed? What if I messed up? What if I risked and lost everything? What if I showed up there and had nothing in common with these people that I wanted to serve alongside? But that's not what happened. That's not what happened. I had found a place that was prepared for me. I found people and friends and family that welcomed me, that brought me alongside, that brought me into their community, and there was already a place for me there. There was already a blessing that Jesus had uniquely for me, and the way that Jesus always does, this upside down reversal of our expectations. Because God had met me in the going, and I had received a blessing. Here's another interesting thing about this narrative, kind of just tucked away in Genesis, the story of God choosing God's people. They wanted to stay safe and secure and make their name great themselves, right? And then we go to the next chapter, and we have this tale that so beautifully juxtaposes this story of risk aversion tactics. We have the call of Abram. So Abram was this old man. He had his life the way it was, right? He had a wife. He had no kids. But he had a family and his land, and God asks him to go on a journey. I'll reread that section for you. Now the Lord said to Abram, go from your country and your kindred and everything you've known and everything in your comfort circle, from your father's house to the land that I will show you. I will make you a great nation. I will bless you and make your name great, so that you will be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you, and the one who curses you I will curse, and in you all the families of the earth will be blessed. Did you get that? Make his name great. God uses the same exact language that these Babylonites are using, right? The Babylonites say, oh, we're going to make our name great. Let us make our name great. What is the difference here? The difference is the one who is doing the increasing. Who's the one that's doing the blessing? It's God. God is still the one who is doing the blessing and increasing for us today. But if we allow ourselves to remain so perfectly encapsulated in our comfort circle, friends, our faith will atrophy. Our faith will wither. It isn't a risk that we receive the blessing that God has for us. So how do we go? When we're scared, when we're so securely a part of our comfort zone, how do we move into blessing? So in actuality, I think that those two circles on that Venn diagram overlap in a lot of ways. I think there's a lot of similarities and places where those things intersect. You can take a risk in one area of your life and still maintain a majority of your comfortability. You can risk one part and still go home to your family and your circle of friends and every part of your routine. Because here's the truth. If you decide to go to Cityview, your entire life will not change, okay? And it won't change if you decide to stay here at Buffalo. Aaron wanted me to make sure I didn't just talk about Cityview. So, it won't change completely if you decide to volunteer for the first time. Or if you decide to fill in the gap for someone who is going. Or if you talk to that person that you think you have nothing in common with, and they're really scared to approach. Or if you invite someone into our community. Your life will continue at much the same pace and tempo as it always does. It will change, because that's inevitable, but it'll change incrementally over time, the way God intends our lives to move. You'll still go to work. You'll still eat dinner together. You'll still see most of the same folks on Sunday mornings. You'll still go to 2 for 2 and we'll all worship together. This is not change for the sake of change. This is change with a goal and risk with a purpose. So here's the thing about the going, about the risk that should drive us to go. Because it is in the risk that we find a blessing, not just for ourselves, but for everyone. Right? What does God tell Abraham? I will make you a blessing to the nations. I want you to picture in your head that coworker or that friend or that family member that you know so deep in your bones needs Christian community, needs some people around them to love them, to care for them, to uplift them. Those are the people that we're risking for. Those are the folks that if we don't risk, we either leave them so completely in their comfort zone that nothing can touch them. They're not risking anything. They're just staying the same and things will keep remaining the same for them. Or we leave them having stepped out into the risk alone. They came to church. They talked to you. and they're there waiting. And if we don't meet them, church, they don't receive a blessing. We don't get one, that's true. Our faith will atrophy, that's true, but the faith of others will never grow unless we are willing to go. How can we lead people where we are not willing to go ourselves?
Amen.
It is in either of those places they're not receiving the flourishing that God has for them, and we are not receiving the flourishing that God has for us. They are hungering and thirsting for a blessing that we can give, and that is our call as Christians to bless. This is how mission grows legs. I mean, this is how we grow and we give others the chance to grow alongside of us. I think one more thing that kind of strikes me about this story, it begins with a story of everyone in one place. Everybody has the same language. And if you notice, it says they all have the same words. Some translators choose to translate this, they had a few words. Just a few. They were satisfied with just a little, with just the bare minimum. There is a blessing God is longing to give us. This is the truth. One greater than we can possibly imagine or think of ourselves. In our own craved safety and comfort, it is unimaginable to us. And we've already taken a big risk together, haven't we? I mean, we don't know what Cityview is going to look like or be like. We don't know what kind of people are going to be there. We don't know what risks they've taken to be there. So we've already done that together. Now is the time when you, as an individual member of that community, try to discern where the risk God is asking you to take. What part of your comfort zone is God asking you to sacrifice so that you might step into that place where the blessing lives and find not only a blessing for yourself, but a blessing for others? It's time to meet them there. It's time to step into that risk and receive a blessing. This is the next step. Will you pray with me?